Let me ask you something straight. It is the middle of July. It is 98 degrees outside. Your power goes out, grid goes down, generator runs dry. What do? Most people panic. They lose their food. They lose their medicines. They sit in the heat and wait for some utility company to rescue them. But 150 years ago, before they banned this knowledge from every school, every trade class, every manual the government prints, an ordinary farmer, no electricity, no refrigerant, no compressor, was making ice through the summer. Real ice, block ice, enough to keep a whole cellar cold from June through September. His name was Frederick Tudor. The year was 1805, and the method he figured out, before they rewrote history around it, cost him less than $20 to set up. Adjusted for today's money, $20. The utility companies do not want you to know this. The HVAC industry does not want you to know this. And the retail cooling market, a $35 billion industry as of last count, absolutely cannot afford for you to know this. So today, we are going to talk about it before they ban this. Because they are already trying. In 1882, Thomas Edison flipped the switch on the Pearl Street station in Lower Manhattan, first commercial electrical grid in the United States. Within 20 years, the electric refrigerator was being prototyped. By 1927, General Electric had the Monitor Top, first mass-market home refrigerator. And the moment that machine hit the market, 200 years of passive cooling knowledge started disappearing from public education. GE, Westinghouse, and later Carrier Corporation, the company that commercialized air conditioning, had a direct financial interest in making sure you needed the grid. Every passive cooling trick that worked without electricity was a sale they were not making. Every ice house that functioned without power was a customer they were losing. So here is what happened. Between 1900 and 1950, trade school curricula across the United States quietly dropped passive thermal management from their programs. The USDA extension guides that used to include ice house construction, those editions went out of print and were never revised. The knowledge did not die. It was retired, shelved, left for researchers and historians while the rest of the country was plugged into a meter. And here is the technical proof they cannot argue with. Evaporative cooling, radiative cooling, and thermal mass storage, the three pillars of pre-electric ice management, are all documented in peer-reviewed engineering literature. They work. The physics has not changed. What changed is who profits when you ignore the physics. The trap they set is simple. Make you dependent on infrastructure you do not control, then charge you every month to use it. What smart people already know, the people who build off-grid homesteads, the serious preppers, the engineers who actually read thermodynamics instead of just selling you a unit, is this. You do not need electricity to move heat. You need mass, insulation, and the right geometry. Here is the exact science. When water evaporates, it pulls heat from its surroundings. Every kilogram of water that goes from liquid to vapor carries away 2,260 kilojoules of energy. That is the latent heat of vaporization. Not a theory, not a trick. Fundamental Thermodynamics, Chapter 1 of any engineering textbook. The Zeer pot, also called a pot-in-pot cooler, was documented by British colonial engineers in Nigeria in the 1930s. Two ceramic pots, one inside the other, wet sand between them. Temperatures inside the inner pot dropped 30 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit below ambient air temperature. In a desert, in summer, no moving parts, no power, no refrigerant. The Persian Yakhchal is older still. Ice houses built in the Iranian desert as far back as 400 BC. Thick adobe walls, a shaded pit below grade, a specific domed roof geometry that forced convection to carry heat upward and out. Archaeologists have confirmed these structures maintained sub-freezing temperatures through Iranian summers. 400 BC, no electricity, no Freon, no Home Depot. And here is the American version they do not teach anymore. The Yankee ice industry, which Tudor built into the first international refrigerated shipping trade, relied on winter ice harvested from ponds, packed in sawdust inside double-walled timber structures, and held through summer for commercial sale. The structures used three materials: timber framing, sawdust or straw insulation, and earth berming on the north-facing wall to block solar gain. Ice stored this way in New England survived into August at documented loss rates below 25% per season. That is the truth they pulled out of the curriculum. And dealers will never tell you this because it would end their service contracts overnight. So here's exactly what you build. The modern version of a passive ice house. Under $20 in most cases. Under $50 if you want to go full engineered version. You need one large unglazed terracotta pot. Look for the ones without glaze. The porous clay body is what matters. And one smaller terracotta pot that fits inside with about 2 to 3 inches of clearance all the way around. Pick them up at any garden center, not the glazed decorative ones. The plain, porous, raw clay ones. Fill the gap between them with wet sand. Pack it, put a wet cloth or burlap sack over the top. Place the whole thing in a shaded spot with airflow. A breeze, a fan, anywhere moving air reaches it. The inner pot will drop 30 degrees Fahrenheit below ambient within 2 to 3 hours. In a 95-degree day, that interior reads 65 degrees. Sustained? Passive. As long as you keep the sand wet, it keeps working. That is food-safe cold storage with zero electricity. Get a standard cooler, used, thrift store, does not matter, and modify it properly. The commercial coolers fail because of 2 design flaws. The lid seal degrades, and the walls are only about an inch of foam. Fix both. Line the interior walls with Reflectix, the double bubble radiant barrier insulation, using aluminum foil tape at every seam. Add a layer of great stuff, expanding foam inside the lid cavity if the lid is hollow. Seal the drain plug from the inside with silicone. What you end up with is roughly R12 to R16 effective insulation instead of the stock R4 or R5. Properly modified cooler with a single layer of ice block, not cubed ice, block ice, will hold sub 40 degree internal temps for 72 hours at 90 degree ambient. Cubed ice is a dealer trick. It melts 3 times faster because of surface area. Block ice is what mechanics buy when they know what they are doing. Dig 2 feet below grade on your north-facing wall. That is your thermal mass buffer. The soil at 18 to 24 inches below surface holds 50 to 55 degrees year-round in most of the continental U.S. Frame a double-wall timber structure. 2x6 exterior, 2x4 interior, minimum 6 inches of packed cellulose insulation in the cavity. Sawdust works, straw works, cellulose bat works better. Roof it with a steep pitch to minimize solar gain on the structure. Add a small north-facing vent at the ridge. Passive convection carries heat out. Face the entry door north or east, never south or west. Build it right, and you get a structure that holds 45 to 50 degrees internally, even in July. In northern states, if you harvest winter pond ice and pack it in sawdust inside this structure, that ice survives into September. This is why mechanics buy old trucks and off-grid homesteaders stop paying power bills. They know the geometry matters more than the gadget. They want you trapped. They want you on the meter. They want you calling the HVAC tech in August and paying emergency service rates because your compressor seized and you have nowhere else to go. That is the system. That is the design. It has been the design since 1927 when GE rolled out the monitor top, and the utility companies started lobbying state governments to classify passive cooling structures as unregistered outbuildings requiring permits. Did you know that? In some counties, a simple root cellar or ice house requires a building permit. Not because it is dangerous, because it is competition. Here is how you fight back. You build one of these. You tell your neighbors. You share this video before they pull it. And they have pulled videos on this topic before. I have seen it happen. You learn the physics. You own the knowledge. Because here is the thing about physics. They cannot repossess it. They cannot charge you a monthly rate for it. They cannot cut it off when you miss a payment. The $20 ice house secret has been sitting in agricultural history books, in Smithsonian archives, in thermal engineering textbooks the whole time. It never went away. It just got quiet. And now you know it. Drop a comment below. Tell me where you're located and what your summer temps look like. I want to know how many of you are going to build one of these this season. And if you have already built a passive cooler of any kind, Zeer pot, root cellar, anything, tell me what you used and what your results were. I read every comment. The government does not want you to know this worked for 2,000 years before they sold you a meter. Now you know, use it. Pacing. Hook section should feel urgent, almost conspiratorial. Problem. Setup slows down. Let the names and dates land. Truth section picks up energy. You know things they don't. Solution section is calm, authoritative, instructional. Rebellion. Close builds back to anger. B-roll ideas. Archival photos of Tudor ice harvesting operations. Public domain Smithsonian. Close-up of Zeer pot with condensation on exterior. Hands packing sand between pots. Reflectix lining cooler walls. Diagram of Yakhchal cross-section. Aerial or ground shot of earth-burned structure. Keywords to hit naturally throughout. Before they ban this, hook, dealers will never tell you. Problem. This is why mechanics buy old trucks. Solution. Government does not want you to know. Close, the trap they set. Problem setup. Factual anchors. Frederick Tudor, documented historical figure called the Ice King, Harvard Archives. Zeer pot, peer-reviewed documentation. Mohammed Ba Abba's 2001 Rolex Award for building modernized version. Yakhchal, confirmed by archaeological and material science studies. GE monitor top. Product launched 1927, verifiable. All claims in this script are grounded in documented history and physics.